On 3.
He was on gun
I
too.
said, you were supposed to be dead if you were on my gun.
You know, his gun captain, a guy by the name of Johnson.
Johnson, right.
He was your gun captain.
I remember that.
Yeah. And he was killed.
Yeah.
Because
when Harry told me...
He was an ex-New York trooper.
Trooper?
Yeah, and he used to exercise all you guys on the back deck.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, and he was gun captain on 3.
And you know, when Harry told me he was my...
Just gonna hold on you for 10 seconds here.
I gotta tip the hat a little bit that way.
Okay, go ahead and adjust, that's cool. Alright, now hold that for about 8 seconds. That's good too. Okay, why don't you turn your head to the other side now, just in case, you know, so we match
Your
it.
head,
Okay.
not your body.
No, that's fine. His head was fine. His body's fine. That's fine. Okay, that's fine. Okay, cool. Alrighty.
Okay.
You just let me know. Give me a nod and I'll
Okay.
give you the finger. And okay. Starting up page 20.
20.
Alright.
It took 2 hours to reach the Higuchi anchorage and move alongside the USS Pinckney, a hospital ship. Here you see the tail section. The plane hit at the main deck with a bomb passing under the deck and demolishing sick bay, then passing through the after crew area and through the hull on the other side. The fuselage had been pushed over the side along with the pilot. The engine smashed into both the aft crew's quarter and the entry.
Go ahead.
The engine smashed both into the aft crew's quarters entryway and the adjoining tipping room holding the ready ammunition supply. The resulting gasoline fire gravely endangered the ship. The patch side of the ship, look at that picture. The giant crane,
Okay.
a giant crane has tilted us to starboard, exposing the waterline. The bomb, actually a Navy shell, exited on this side and exploded 15 feet from the ship. There were about 300 shrapnel holes. Welding continues, but the flooding is under control. If the bomb was actually, the bomb, per intelligence, was actually an armor-piercing naval shell. If it had hit 6 inches forward, it would have hit heavy machinery in the after motor room. The shell would have exploded on impact, and very likely it would have sunk the ship. The score was 4 enemy planes, 21 killed and 38 wounded on our side, while 3 men were missing. The missing, all wounded, were later found on a life raft. The life raft and the men had been...
Sorry.
The 3 all wounded were later found on a life raft by a destroyer. The raft and men were blown over the side by the explosion. We spent 2 more days at Higuchi alongside a repair ship and then moved to Kuramaretto, a haven for crippled ships. Then we have Fontana's sketch of Kuramaretto. Our artist was always busy with his sketch pad. Kuramaretto is a group of rocky islets 20 miles east of Higuchi. It formed a small natural harbor. We stayed there for 4 days before We stayed there for 4 days before going back to Ulithi, then on to Pearl Harbor, and eventually to Seattle for a major overhaul. Then we insert the History Channel picture of Amaretto. Foreseeing the need for a safe anchorage, Amaretto was seized the day before the main Okinawa invasion. At the time, our forces did not realize that a large force of Japs remained hidden and concealed in rocky caves and inlets. During the night, suicide bombers tried to attach explosives to the ships in the harbor. We were not permitted to use searchlights. As a result, we manned the main deck with submachine guns and shotguns loaded with buckshot. I was mostly worried about being hit by a ricochet bullet from our own guys. Everyone was shooting at every little splash in the water. Between the swimmers and the bombers, we did not get much sleep. Okay, that's the end of that. There's one thing, I had a redundancy here, which is bad. I used forces twice in a row. When I say, at the time, our forces did not realize that a large force of Japs. I'd like to read that sentence again.
Okay,
You can replace it.
sure.
At the time, our forces did not realize that a large contingent of Japs remained hidden and concealed in rocky caves and inlets.
Okay.
Replace forces with contingents.
All
Very
right.
easy to get hung up on words when you're writing and use redundancies.
It's true,
Now,
you always,
when you read that, Dick, everything you kept saying was aft, aft, aft. You know that? Not midship.
Okay. Well, you know, Johnny, you get something in your head and it's hard to get it out
Yeah,
sometimes.
because you know, near the end there, you kept saying,
Yeah.
well,
after
like I
quarters,
said,
after this, after that. So it wasn't midships. If it was midships, it would have probably sunk us, for Christ's sake, I think, don't you?
Well, if it had been directly amidships, yeah, it would have hit the engine spaces and.
Sure, we
it
would have sunk.
Yeah,
I would have been dead, for sure.
yeah. Well, no, you wouldn't have. I mean, you know, it would have exploded, it would have killed a lot of guys in the engine room, but
Well,
the
maybe
guy's topside might have been blown overside.
Oh, maybe I would be eaten by a shark because of all the blood that I was spilling out.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been wounded. There wouldn't have been any
Well, that's true too, that's true too, it hit midships.
Would have all been contained right in that area. Well, I have a little bit more to read here.
what page are you on now? Or,
22.
are you on 22?
Yeah.
Okay. Oops, I'm making noise here.
A succession of crippled destroyers came into the harbor. Notice they had many 40mm guns, and at least 4 times the anti-aircraft firepower of a DE. Yet look at their damage. One of these was the USS Laffey, but they knew how to use their guns. During 30 minutes, she was under a series of attacks by 22 planes. The gunners knocked down 9 planes. They were hit 6 times. That is why she received the Presidential Unit Citation for courageous action. Then I get to the twin-engine bomber. Then there was the night when the bombers came and everyone made smoke in order to screen the harbor. The wind shifted and we were alone out in the open. Talk about feeling naked. We felt like we were under a spotlight. Everyone but us was shielded by a smoke screen. This is almost exactly it. Then I forgot that we are inserting the picture of an enemy bomber, and I changed the script to include that. And I don't know whether yours had that in there earlier, didn't it? I read this and I forgot that I had that in there. Okay. This is almost exactly as we saw the bomber, only there are no tracers. The twin-engine bomber zeroed in on us. The destroyer, A destroyer like one of those anchored near us. A destroyer anchored near us had radar fire control. Even though they could not see the bomber, their 40mm guns seemed to be making some hits. But it was the Rawls 3-4 and 20mm guns that made it break off the attack. I could see our tracers were making solid hits all over the plane. It turned away. I noticed that the bomb bay doors were closed, maybe jammed. This could be why it did not press home the attack. We will never know if that bomber made it home. I doubt it. In all, we fired 337 rounds of 20mm ammo. The 3-inch 50s did not have tracers to guide their fire, but they did fire 8 rounds apiece to no effect. Then we switched to the scene of the whaleboat. The whaleboat had brought an intelligence officer from a nearby communications ship. He wanted to talk to the captain. And there's the breeches boy. Sometimes a breeches boy was used to transfer a man from ship to ship. I think that this scene was actually from another occasion when we were underway with a convoy.
Okay, hold up.
Going to page 21.
Going backwards now.
23, I'm
22,
sorry,
21.
23. Get my bifocals fixed. And my cataracts removed. Okay.
Still, the lighting still okay over there?
Lighting's okay.
Okay. Thank-
We were joined by a damaged cargo. We were joined by a damaged cargo ship and another destroyer. The destroyers and DEs on the picket line were the primary targets of suicide bombers. I am not sure why that was. Which reminds me, I wanted to add something at some time and explain what the picket line was. We talk about it all the time and we don't give any explanation of it.
Well, you want to talk about it now?
I'll talk about it a little bit, and maybe you can find a better place to insert it.
Okay. Well, we're recording, so feel comfortable. Take a drink of water.
Yeah, I wanna kind of organize, I gotta say it out loud with the sound off for a minute, and talk about it a little bit.
Well, don't worry about it. Just
By
talk
the way,
about it. I'll
Dave,
just-
by the way, Dave, what you just read there was after we got.
Yeah,
I
this is all when we were in.
Okay. And now, depth charge drill. Now these were set to explode at a shallow level. They detonated almost on impact. The charges can be set for various depths depending on information obtained from our sonar gear. Now notice the K-gun shooting charges off to the side. This is a conventional 13 charge pattern. Here's Captain Taylor on the flying bridge. The crew really liked him. He was a good skipper. He's seen here shaking the hand of Commander Rich. He was the Escort Division Commodore. Here's Captain Taylor on the flying bridge. The crew really liked him. He was a good skipper. He's seen here shaking the hand of Commander Rich. He was the Escort Division Commodore. Well, shakedown is over and we're back in San Francisco. Now in Europe, our troops have just landed in Normandy, early June 1944, and we are about to escort our first convoy, one ship, to Pearl Harbor. It's called the City of Dalhart to Pearl Harbor. The San Francisco skyline is in the background. The City of Dalhart seen here was carrying a secret cargo. That news was released after the war. This ship had the capability of launching and recovering small reconnaissance airplanes. By now, the need for this type of plane had passed. We had plenty of aircraft carriers, and the system was not much used. Now we see Alcatraz Island, the federal prison, and the Golden Gate Bridge. Well, we have a long look at the Golden Gate Bridge here. As the skyline fades and we draw away from the Golden Gate, well, it's an emotionally filled moment. The uncertainty and the lingering thoughts of home and loved ones. Will we ever again see the Golden Gate Bridge? Cut for a minute. Dick,
Ready?
you say here, you describe what you see. What does this mean? At the bottom of this page. Is that the next line?
Well, yeah, I'll tell you, they're pyrotechnics and a bunch of stuff shooting up in the air and
Did you want me to ad-lib that or read it?
yeah, I guess so.
Oh, well, I would have had to have more time to read that before I can ad-lib.
Well,
Interested to look at the script.
Are we seeing some,
okay,
I could read it, you
yeah,
know?
read it, and if there's anything else you wanna say, that's one of those things that I just threw the stuff out there, and I figured Carol would probably rewrite it.
Well, I didn't read her script, so I don't know whether she rewrote it or not. She was going by another script, not this one.
Yeah, let's see what she said. I imagine some of her stuff is probably better.
Go shuffling down there though.
Yeah, let me see.
We're gonna record. I think he's gonna check something real quick. What page are you on, by the way?
Page 5.
Okay. Need a drink? Okay.
Somewhere in there, when we were on our way to, she writes, and I don't know why we didn't pick it up there, because I probably just figured Johnny was saying it, so maybe she's moved it around, but it's pretty good. I had a quick shot of the fog, really, where the officer said was.
I'm gonna let you take that script home tonight and read it.
I'm just going by what you've got here, Dick. Should I just read it?
Well, she has most of the time spent on drills and, you know, no, that isn't it, okay, go on. I'm really, I would recognize where she was. Okay, here's what she wrote about the pyrotechnics and life aboard ship. So it's the top of page 4 and down to the middle of page 5 is all copies it. It has